Yeah, we just made up one.
Everything's still working good.
How are you?
On the bad side of Hey, you gotta swing your sword when you can.
No, I get along. Develop a pretty good reputation.
I'm saying I'm calling on my phone.
Identify your name and the town of the city that you live
Hey, Anita?
Miss Mary are both incredibly creative, knowledgeable, and wonderful library isn't just about me and what I believe, it's about everyone in the community. It's a vital time to support public libraries like Lapeer's because sadly, misinformation, bullying, and ignorance are on the rise. Some people in my community suffer from these so intensely that it seems like they feel the need to dig into the library's buildings to find something to be upset about. They take information from the library's books out of context and blow the books, words and images out of proportion without truly trying to understand them. They allow themselves to be so offended by the material without considering the usefulness of it to others. They think this makes them freedom fighters when all they're really doing is taking away others' freedom. If you are so concerned about what your child might see or read at the library, maybe take steps to level up your parenting. Monitor your
Exactly.
We all have a constitutional right to freedom of speech. That includes the freedom to express our thoughts through writing, which is what authors do. There are people who have decided that they are entitled to make decisions about what I can or cannot check out from our public library. Let me use the language I've heard from them. Don't tread on my rights. In order to have balance, opportunity, and our rights, which we promise to uphold, the board needs to have a diversity of voices and be respectful of opinions that are different from their own. I hope this library board doesn't move too far in one direction, and that we can all work together. My name is Nancy Roberts, and I am going to be finishing Amy Converse. As a citizen, I know that the LDL is more than just books. I want everyone else to know this too. I see the library's calendar of events for kids, teens, and adults, packed with enrichment opportunities from Lego Club to Knitting Club and Baby Time to Tutoring. There's something for everyone. I am still sad when I think about the 2018 library, the Lapeer Library Village that did not pass. LDL does so much, but it has the potential to do so much more, providing additional space, funding, resources, and support. I'd like to think of the day to come when the LDL's potential to serve its community is much grander scale
is realize the Lapeer District Library is the cornerstone of our community. People need to stop picking at it and demonizing the library. Let's use it and share it and grow it because it's a great library, because a great library makes a great community.
The other day, I picked up a pamphlet off the table in the county commission chamber. And it tells us everything that's wrong with the library. But it also has a little yellow box that says flyer intended for distribution to adults only. When I told the county commission that they should remove that and put it behind the counter in the clerk's office, it was naughty, naughty. In the 3 minutes I had to speak, I turned around and walked back to my chair, and somebody had walked into the chambers and grabbed the entire stack off the table and hid it. Now, what a lot of people didn't realize in the commission meeting when they were appointing board members, that one of the board members that was appointed, they congratulated her and introduced her, I believe probably by maiden name. Half the people in the room did not know that Mr. Coleman was appointing his wife to the board. After the meeting was over, Commissioner Zender and I were in the hall talking, and there was a little girl sitting on a bench, her knees pulled up to her chest, her panties showing to the world, her hands over her ears, rocking back and forth. Now, somebody that's raising a child that is to that point, should they be making the decision as to what my kids have access to in a library?
No.
I grew up in an age in Flint. You could go to the public library, go to referencing periodicals, and the front page was covered, but there was a magazine rack. I grew up in the age of Playboy, Hustler, and College. And there were 12-year-old boys that would sneak in and go, wow. And you know what? 99% of them turned out perfectly all right. You still got the percentage that are going to go twisted. I don't approve of a lot of things that go on in this world, but you know what? I don't have to participate in them. I can explain to my kids the difference. I don't need somebody else sticking their nose into it.
I applaud what Leslie said about the Woodfield. Yes, that's what I call it. For 20 years, I sat with you guys. 20 years I was on this library board. But tonight I'm coming to talk as the president of the League of Women Voters of Flint, the Flint area, which encompasses Lapeer, Tuscola, and Genesee counties. The league has been in existence for over 105 years, making a difference in our communities. Every year, they look at positions on different topics. They take positions in to the local leagues. They allow them to defend those positions. Some of them are on healthcare, government, natural resources, but they've all been studied, and the positions are what should happen in the community. They've had a library position for decades, but they just within a couple of years ago added a little bit more, and it was approved by the commission. The Article 16 says, the league supports full service public library system. Public libraries should support our First Amendment right to intellectual freedom and expression by playing an important role in facilitating free and open access to information. Individuals should be trusted to make their own decisions erosion of our country's commitment to freedom of expression. Third part of the edition was library staff operating within the standards of the American Library Association should make professional decisions about selection, organization, preservation, and dissemination of resources and services without political interference. I am very concerned with what I've seen over the past several years related to the Lapeer District Library. What has always been a nonpartisan community resource has become a political football.
I was pleased to notice that information has been added to the library website outlining checkout options for minors once they are in the library. It makes parents aware of procedures, but not awareness regarding the content of some of the material or possible exposure to harmful images and information. A visit to the library should count from with a warning label. The local media has provided much publicity for programming at the library, but very little acknowledgement of the potentially damaging exposure to books on the open shelves. I viewed a program on January 12th showing the results of a study done at Georgia University, which determined that viewing sexually explicit images had the same impact as actually having experienced the physical abuse. Think about that for a minute. Granted, they were referring to video and or online exposure, but a picture is a picture. It scars the same way. The damage is done. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It is an irreversible trauma. The books in question some of them are deliberately designed and titled in a way to attract the attention of the innocent, so that they will take it off the shelf and look before they even decide whether or not to check it out. The damage is done. Why has the previous board and directorship been so opposed to protecting children? I do not endorse my tax dollars being used in this manner.
My name is Lapeer, and I live in Lapeer County, but I think it's Elder Township. I live on Baldwinville. And I'm opposed to the banning of books. Book banners are not remembered fondly in history. Book banners are not remembered fondly in history.
Right,
Book
yes.
banners are not remembered fondly in history. Back in the 1930s in Germany, the Nazis started banning books. This is how they started their whole process of annihilation and then and so if they did this, they started. They wanted to ban the books to alienate parts of society. Obviously, those parts of society were blacks, Jews, gays, queers, anybody that they disagreed with. They wanted to alienate them, therefore, then they could annihilate them. And we know that this is what happened in the concentration camps. And they wanted to ban these books under the guise of quote, protecting family values and protecting children. And so then when you go down and then but if you're banning books about sexual abuse, then that doesn't prevent sexual abuse. Sexual abuse went on before books were written, and it's going to go on after. It's going to go on after. Worse if you ban the books, because then the book banning makes the victims ignorant ongoing abuse. Book banning allows the perpetrators to continue their abuse. Abused, not even knowing that they're being abused. Kids are particularly vulnerable to this because of their lack of life experience. There's kids. If all you know is bad, your life is all that's all you know. And then when information about abuse is banned, then the kids that are being banned don't even know that they don't even know how to recognize abuse. This allows the abuse to go on and also allows the abuser to get away with it. Reading a book is not child abuse. Abusing a child is child abuse. Not allowing a child to read a book about child abuse does not prevent child abuse. Keeping an abused kid ignorant of what is happening to them, which is abuse abuse. The point of banning books is to protect kids. It doesn't work. If banning books is to prevent sexual assault and abuse and rape and incest and sodomy, it doesn't work.
That's fine. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bridget Dickens. I live in the city of Lapeer. I want to start first by taking time to thank the library staff for making the J&J Library the amazing place that it is. Without their hard work, care, and dedication, we would not have the library that we all care so deeply about. We are very lucky to have the full staff that we do at every level, from the pages for career director Danielle Brigatti. Under her leadership, we have gotten new events like the Ancestry Program, as well as expanding and investing in services like the Library of Things. For those who don't know, you can check out anything from a kit to a knit or to a ghost hunting, to a Chromebook, or even a digital file scanner to preserve old photos. One of the great beauties of libraries is choice. We are so lucky to have the collection we have at our library. A library that I might add serves at least 60,000 individual patrons, at least. It is our First Amendment right as patrons and as Americans to decide that what we read for our families and ourselves and nobody else. No one gets to force us or take choices from us, which is why I urge you to say no to the idea of banning or a restricted section, which several in our community have been trying to get. Articles 1 and 5 of the Library Bill of Rights both state, 1, books and other library resources should be provided for the interest, information, and enlightenment of all people of the community the library serves. Materials should not be excluded because of the origin, background, or views of those contributing to their creation. And 5, a person's right to use the library should not be denied or abridged because of origin, age, background, race, or views. Making a restricted section would give a potential physical, language, or psychological/mental barrier to getting material. The books in a restricted section are often tainted simply by being there, thus creating a barrier for service. Restricted becomes essentially banned, and no hero has ever banned books. Hi, Kelly Nolan, Lapeer Township, former board member.
The definition of freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. In modern democracies, freedom is a right, especially the freedom of speech, religion, and press. The definition of liberty is the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. The power or scope to act as one pleases. The definition of fascism is a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by a severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition. Libraries are places of learning, and removing
think, feel, and believe.
Right.
Make no mistake, these extremists do not want to just restrict books. That is only the beginning of their plan to destroy our library. A library that most, if not all of them, don't even use.
My name is Helen Turner, and I want to tell you that, first of all, the banning of books is, just unbelievable that that's happening here. And I want you all to look beyond here. Okay, look beyond what's going on right here. The small group of about 50, 75 people. Book banning is a smokescreen. It's a smokescreen of power and control and covering up other things. Hitler used this tactic and other things. And as our current president is doing so successfully right now. And it started when he came down the elevator. Pushing to target marginalized, unprotected people, how would you feel if you were let me ask you this. Instead of thinking about LGBTQ, think about an albino. Think about a child with a cleft palate. Think about another person who's a hermaphrodite, who has male and female genitalia. I wonder how they have sex. You ever think about that? I mean, I would think that would be on your book banning list if there was ever any books about that. In addition to the genderqueer book. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It's about a girl who her whole life wants to know what she is. And finally, there's a scientist or a doctor who did research, and there are actually 4 groups, different groups, of 4 chromosomes that create non-binary people. And that, she finally was like, oh my God, that's terrible feeling of not belonging, of being ostracized. And another thing I want to just slide in here too. I've taught for 35 years, and I can tell you that teachers do not indoctrinate kids. Really. When, why would I want my kids who I love dearly to be indoctrinated and then have to face the bullshit of the people that just nail them? Absolutely not. And I gotta say right now, the thing that bothers me most right here is the fact that the backhanded way that the county commissioners have appointed their candidates. I mean, interviews that never happened, and now suddenly have candidates that are on the board. I mean, don't forget about looking at having interviews to find the best candidates. That was never part of it. It was all about just getting someone on that they had their agenda. And so that's all I don't have a great ending.
Other public comment?
No.
I'd be very concerned about the fact that parents are wanting the library to take over their responsibility.
Right.
It is not the responsibility of the library to control what your child reads. It is the parents' responsibility. I'm sure that they feel strongly about what their children see on the computer. You're watching that, at least I would assume so. So why are they wanting the library to determine what their kids are going to see at the library? Somehow, parents have, in many cases, have given up their right to control their kids, and they want somebody else to take over making their decisions. Their decisions, not community decisions, not what other kids want, but their decisions. So as far as I'm concern, parents, you be the parent. You make the decision about what your child reads, and let me make the decision about what my child reads.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Amanda Benning, I'm from Township. I don't have a big speech, but I just want to emphasize that I support the library, and I support library staff, and as a parent of a young child, the library is an invaluable resource, and I'm so glad that we have you in the library. Looking into it, I am so surprised with what a resource you have. Not only do you have a tiny library, it's so standing, but it also was written by Margaret Gandley in 1985. Now, Margaret Gandley was a children's author, but she was a trailblazer. And one of her very first books, the one that was in award, dealt with diversity, discrimination, and prejudice. Why on earth would this town want to adopt the name of their main library and then fly in the face of what she stood for? I don't get it. It's about being a community, and that's what the country libraries are for, was to build a community. And community is about, it's defined by a sense of belonging, and that means everybody belongs. And everybody should be able to identify something of themselves in the library that can have free access to it. That's all.
Is there additional comment?
Hi, my name is Rhonda Warren from Marathon Township. The first issue I'd like to address is the false claim made repeatedly for over 2 years that genderqueer is found in our library children's section. Genderqueer is a 240-page graphic autobiography written and drawn by Maya Kobabe. It depicts the author's life and exploration of gender identity. If the book banners had bothered to look for it in our library instead of just repeating false rumors, they would find genderqueer in the adult nonfiction biography section, just 4 books down from the hefty biography of former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. So the truth, not the lie, is that Maria Kobabe's autobiography is shelved with Dr. Kissinger, not Dr. Seuss. Writers are an amazing group of people. Complex thinkers with the ability to translate abstract concepts, layered perceptions, and imaginary worlds to others through books. Truly, writers are among the most involved and important people in every generation. Bibliophiles are readers who consume books like the rest of us breathe air. They read and understand thousands more books than the average person. Therefore, it's appropriate that libraries are run by bibliophiles. And the Lapeer District Libraries are staffed and run by a very sophisticated group of bibliophiles. So I asked this board and the members on it, have you read thousands of books? Can you quote William Blake or James Joyce or Margaret Atwood? Because if you can't, you're really not qualified to run our public On one side of me was a couple who are lifelong Democrats. On the other side of me was a couple who are diehard Trumpists. For almost 30 years, I've watched them raise their kids and grandkids, and at no point did I ever think it was my right or obligation to tell their kids or grandkids what to read, what to watch, or who to love. It's just not my business. And at no time have my neighbors told each other what religion to practice or what doctrines to live by. Instead, we get along. We help each other when we can, and we try to be good neighbors. I think that's pretty standard for Lapeer County. So I have to wonder if the book banners are interfering in the lives of their neighbors. No one is campaigning to remove books you choose to read from the library, and you should not be making those same choices for others either. Be good neighbors, mind your own business.
Time's up.
I am Susan Huff, and I am from Metamora Township. Congratulations, Peg Brodsky. You've been appointed to join John DeAngelis and Carrie Coleman in what looks to be an ongoing transformation of the library board into a version of George Orwell's Ministry of Truth.
They don't get the reference.
For intolerant county commissioners who are rabid and radical right-wing conservatives. One commissioner has even suggested this new Ministry of Truth will use its power to remove the district library's experienced and highly credentialed director because the director is following the law in the performance of her duties. It is so rich that our elected officials who took an oath to uphold the U.S. and Michigan constitutions have intentionally appointed members to this board who have openly supported the censorship of library materials in violation of those constitutions. Appointed individuals who don't live in the library district, for God's sake. Illegally appointed an individual to a seat that was not vacant. That sounds like a whole basket full of dirty laundry. In a message to the Lapeer Township Board, Peggy Brodsky wrote that her intentions to restrict access to information are in the best interest of, quote, our precious children, end quote. Our county commission supports this dangerous game that started with attacks on LGBTQ+ materials. Next, maybe the thought police will move to restrict books about racism, or books like 1984 that decry censorship and totalitarianism. They're playing the protect our children from pornography and obscenity card in their game to restrict access to materials with viewpoints or topics they don't like, figuring who can argue against protecting our precious children? The law defines pornography, and the courts define obscenity, not this board. And this board has no in loco parentis rights. It's the right and responsibility of parents and guardians to protect our precious children from the perceived dangers of library books. The library board's job is to ensure that our library provides free access to information, and it is against the law for this board to restrict access based on viewpoint or the topic of the material. For an oath to support the U.S. Constitution and the Michigan Constitution. We expect that you are true patriots and will perform the duties of your position in keeping with the laws and legal precedents of this great nation in all decisions regarding access to books and materials. And we absolutely will be here to call you out if we find any of you had your fingers crossed behind your back when you swore.
The Ten Commandments are the cornerstone of Christianity. So I find it surprising how many people who espouse Christianity have broken those commandments right in front of me as this coup has taken place to command the library board toward one religious ideology. Commandment 8, you shall not steal. Carol Brown's seat was stolen from the person who rightfully held it. Dr. Sherman Jones had a board seat until December 2025 and had not resigned. And in December 2024, the Mayfield Township Board voted Carol into her place. They gave Brown a 5-year term, which is a violation of library law. They had not advertised the position or even let an interested party know that they would be voting. Mayfield claimed that they gave Sharma Jones a 3-year contract, when in 2011, Mayfield signed an agreement with the library for 4-year terms. Mayfield had Carol Brown sign the oath of office on January 14th before Sharma Jones had resigned. A Mayfield official called Sharma Jones and told her that Mayfield had replaced her. Based on her resignation letter, she felt pressured, some say bullied, to resign to preserve her personal and professional reputation, direct quote. When Carrie Coleman was appointed to the Lapeer Coleman, the chairman's wife. Then Tom Coleman became liaison to the library board, a further conflict of interest. When they stood before the commission, no one asked Kerry Coleman or John DeAngelis their educational, professional, or public service backgrounds, and no one mentioned the qualifications of the other two candidates. In December, Kerry Coleman wrote a scathing message to Lapeer Township against Kelly Nolan and supporting Brodsky, further influencing appointments. Then Truman Mass was appointed to fill a seat, but he was disqualified because of residency. When you break laws and skirt basic ethics to steal a seat, you have broken a commandment. Commandment 9, you shall not bear false witness, aka you shall not lie. County Commissioner Kevin Isley has been explicit about his plan for a major change in the library leadership. He wants to 86 the director and fire the leftist clown show of attorneys, direct quote. I'd like to know why Kevin Isley feels he knows your personal politics, which are none of our business, and it sounds like false witness to me. On Facebook, Isley made false claims about the Mayfield 5-year appointment being for a partial term. Isley said that people opposing changes to the current library system. Next will be pedophilia you sick people will try to normalize, direct quote. Isley's online messages feature vulgarity and harsh name calling. His comments at commission meetings feature strong partisan language when discussing these nonpartisan seats. Commandment 10, you shall not covet what is your neighbor's. These are people who lie and cheat and steal, and they expect us to look up to them as moral leaders.
Banning books is not about protecting children, it's about discrimination. Some of our most covered books that we grew up reading have been banned, such as The Follow the Wire of Mice and Men, The Catcher in the Rye, Gone with the Wind, The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird. In fact, in Escanabia County, Florida, they had banned the dictionary. Yes, that's correct. The dictionary has been banned due to its sexual content. There is no credible data that states that someone reads a book about murder that they go out and murder someone. When I was in high school, I checked out the book Helter Skelter out of the school library. I did not turn it to Charles Manson. If someone commits a violent crime, it is due to a complex set of underlying psychological factors, not simply because they read a crime novel. In the Bible, Cain marries his sister and lays with them. Abraham marries his half-sister, Sarah. God approved of the marriage between the brother and sister. In short, Abraham married Melch, his niece. Lot's daughters give their father wine and lie with them. And 9 months later, they gave birth to 2 sons to their father. So I ask you, do you want the government controlling what you read? Do you want your librarians incarcerated simply for doing their job and having an assortment of books readily available to meet the interests of the American people? Or do we want freedom and liberty for all? If you choose censorship, then I think we need to add the Bible to this list, simply because I don't want to encourage girls to lie with their fathers.
Any initial comment? Thank you all for your comments, I appreciate it. We will now move on with the regular business of the meeting. Additions, deletions of the agenda, we require a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Is there no additions or deletions? Moved by Mr. DeAngelis, is there support? Supported by Mr. Valley. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Consent agenda. The consent agenda is the approval of the minutes of the November 21st, 2024 regular meeting, the financial reports, the director and assistant director reports, and the facilities report. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Mr. Valley. Is there support? Support by Ms. Coleman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, folks. Board reports. Treasurer. You're up, Barry.
I have three motions for approval to pay checks. The first one is from November 22nd, 2024 through December 19th, 2024. General checking, check numbers 15488 through 15526 for a total of $24,475.20. Online bill general checking, check numbers GC 4267 through 4299 for a total of $15,703.42 for a total general checking of $40,178.62. And payroll checking, check numbers PC 2245 through 2256 for a total of $117,456.55 for a grand total of $157,675.17. Second motion is for checks dating December 20th, 2024 through January 16th, 2025. General checking numbers 15527 through 15547 for a total of $29,399.41. Online bill check, general checking GC 4300 through 4322 for a total of $10,910.81 for a total of $40,310.22. And the payroll checking, check numbers PC 2257 through 2266 for a total of $119,291.40 for a grand total of $159,601.62. The third motion are for the dates of January 17th, 2025 through February 20th, 2025. Check numbers 15548 through 15584 for $41,165.57. General checking on bill pay, check numbers GC 4323 through 4366 for $15,117.25 for a total of $56,282.82. And payroll checking, check numbers PC 2267 through 2280 for $121,528.81 for a grand total of $177,299.40. $811.63.
Okay, motions have been made for, three separate motions for paying bills. Is there support? Supported by John. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you, Perry. I do not, see any county commissioners here. Is there a county commissioner here? Do you have a report from the county?
They get their check, or they don't.
No. I don't know who our, liaison is anymore for the county. Is anybody else? I haven't, would you notify Danielle or anyone? Unfinished business, we are going to, break into a closed session. We have some business that we need to conduct. We will be discussing, performance evaluation for our director, and we also have our, corporate counsel attorney here, and we will be, meeting in closed session, and then we will come back after closed session and resume the business. Okay?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
My suggestion would be two separate motions. The first one would be to move into closed session to discuss a comprehensive written legal opinion, and there should be a roll call vote on that. The second one should be to move into closed session to discuss periodic personal evaluations of director, and then I'd have the director state on record that she approves of the closed session. And that does not need to be by roll call vote, but it's always a good idea. So I have those two separate motions. If those both pass, then we can adjourn the closed session, and then come back, and we can move on with both of those closed sessions here in open session.
Which?
I'll make a motion.
We'll make the first motion, which is going to be 30. Motion by Mr. I wanted to call you John. Motion by Mr. DeAngelis to go to closed session with our attorney. Is there support for that motion?
To discuss a confidential written legal opinion.
To discuss a confidential written legal opinion. Who's got no figure on that? Okay. And supported by Ms. Coleman. And then we will do a roll call vote. Ms. Brodsky? Aye. Ms. Coleman? Mr. DeAngelo? Yes. And okay, then we need a second motion, to discuss periodic personnel evaluation in the closed session. Is there someone willing to make that motion? Motion by John, supported by Carrie. And then we will do a roll call for that. Yes. Okay. We're going